What's up everybody? I'm Chris and welcome back to the channel. You know what's funny? If you've seen some of my videos, you'll know that I review a lot of smart home technology on this channel. Technology such as robot vacuums, robot lawnmowers, smart locks, and in general just a bunch of home automation gadgets. But one piece of tech that I never thought I'd be reviewing or thought I needed to was gadgets for window cleaning. Now that's one chore that I think most of us keep putting off until it becomes impossible to ignore, or we just don't have it in our daily tasks. And honestly, I get it. Cleaning windows is a tedious task in itself, especially when you're dealing with things such as large sliding glass doors, floor-to-ceiling windows or mirrors, second-story glass, hard-to-reach exterior windows, or you simply have a ton of glass or mirrors around your home. So when ECOVACS sent me their latest robot, this WINBOT W2S OMNI, I was definitely curious. Now, I've seen robotic window cleaners before, but I wasn't completely convinced that they were something most homeowners actually needed. But after using this for the last couple of weeks, my opinion has changed quite a bit. Okay, so for those of you that are wondering, this sitting right next to me is ECOVACS WINBOT W2S OMNI. It's a robotic window cleaner that's designed to automatically clean windows, mirrors, shower glass, and a bunch of other smooth surfaces while you sit back and let it do the work. Now in this video, I'm going to show you what exactly a WINBOT is, how this W2S OMNI works. We're going to talk about and share with you some real-world cleaning scenarios. We're going to talk about its performance. We're going to talk about safety features. We're going to look at how you can operate this thing, whether it's plugged in or whether it's wireless. We're going to talk about what I liked about it, what could be improved, and whether this is actually worth the investment. And as always, if you're interested in learning more or picking one of these up for yourself, I will definitely, again, leave my affiliate link down in the description section below. So let's get started. Okay, so as usual, before we dive into the performance, let's talk really quickly about what exactly this product is. So WINBOT is ECOVACS' dedicated robotic window cleaning line. Now, while most people know ECOVACS for their D-Bot robot vacuums and other gadgets, they've actually become the #1 robotic window cleaner brand worldwide by market share. This WINBOT W2S OMNI is their latest premium window cleaning robot designed to automatically clean glass surfaces without requiring ladders, manual scrubbing, or even professional cleaning services. Now, the idea behind this is pretty simple. You place the robot on the glass, it securely attaches itself using suction, it maps out the surface, it sprays cleaning solution, and then it systematically cleans the entire area or surface of your window, mirror, or whatever surface you place it on. Now, if you're wondering what comes all with the system itself, this W2S OMNI package includes the WINBOT robot itself, which is inside the unit. You've got the overall OMNI station. You get extra cleaning pads as well as the one on the robot itself. You get a safety tether, which is connected to the system. You get a cleaning solution to start off with, and you get charging and power accessories, which essentially is the cable cord if you need to charge the system. Now, one thing that I immediately noticed is how premium pretty much everything feels. It's made of plastic, but it feels super solid. Now, one thing to note is that this OMNI station isn't just a charger for the robot. It's pretty much essentially a portable carrying case. It's also a charging station, it's a safety system, and it's a cable management solution all built into a single package. It feels well thought out and it's surprisingly portable. Now, you may be asking yourself why a robotic window cleaner even exists. Well, a bunch of us do have tall windows. We've got second-story windows, large glass doors, and just surfaces that we don't want to deal with. So when I got this, the more I thought about it, the more I realized why products like this exist. If you think about it, window cleaning is one of the most commonly delayed chores around the house, or something we often don't even think about. Not because people don't care, but because it's inconvenient and, again, like I mentioned previously, it's tedious. Most of us don't have any problems vacuuming the floor, even though we don't like it, which is why robot vacuums are also very popular. But when it comes to climbing ladders, reaching exterior glass, cleaning oversized windows, or just spending hours wiping down multiple glass surfaces, most people simply want to put that task off. And over time, as you can see on most windows, dust builds up, pollen accumulates, water spots develop, fingerprints multiply, and glass overall just gets super dirty. And that overall makes windows gradually become less clear and less see-through. Now, the interesting thing is you often don't notice how dirty your windows are until they're clean again. You'll notice once you finally clean your windows, the amount of natural light coming through the glass changes dramatically. The room feels brighter, the view outside looks clearer, and the entire space within your home feels refreshed. Now, the other thing to consider is, of course, cost. When you think about it, professional window cleaning services can get expensive very quickly, just like most things nowadays. Depending on the size of your home, a single professional cleaning visit can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So I can definitely understand the appeal of owning a dedicated robot solution that will do all that work for you. Now, let's really quickly talk about the setup, then we'll talk about safety, and then first use. After using this, I can pretty much say it's as simple as it can get. All you have to do is fill the robot up with cleaning solution, attach a pad to the robot if it isn't already attached, stick it on the glass, and press start. When you're filling the robot up, there's a clear indicator that shows you how full of solution the robot is and if you need to refill it. Then the cleaning pads are easy to wash. And then placing the robot against the glass is super easy. All you do is press it on the glass, press up and hold the power button, and the whole system suctions to the window or whatever surface you're placing it on, and it immediately engages, locks the robot, and just starts the cleaning process. Now, if you're like me, at first when I use this robot, or even before I use the robot, the biggest concern for me and most people will probably be safety, because it's something that's just hanging off your window. The very first doubt or question that I had, or that most people have, is what happens if it falls or loses its connection and just falls off the window? Well, honestly, I wondered the exact same thing before and even during the use of this robot. Well, thankfully, ECOVACS built multiple layers of protection into this W2S OMNI. This robot uses powerful 8,000 PA suction to maintain contact with whatever surface you have it suctioned on. There's also a safety tether. It's also got a battery backup protection in case it's running low. And then there's also a pressure monitoring system that's built in, as well as a safety cable that's used for backup protection. It's got automatic stability management, which tests to make sure that the robot is stable and actually gives you an error message or powers off or alerts you if it doesn't have enough suction or if it's reached somewhere where it can't reach or has any kind of error itself. In addition to that, the robot will also automatically return to its starting point when the battery is either low or also after it finishes cleaning. And it can remain there for up to 30 minutes and will continuously issue voice reminders until you either grab the robot or detach it from the surface and put it back in its charging base. Now, during my testing over the last couple of weeks, I never once felt concerned about the robot losing its grip after its first usages. It felt surprisingly secure the entire time and pretty much every time that I used the robot. Now, another thing that I really appreciate about this robot is the flexibility in how you can use it. Not only because you can use it on a bunch of different surfaces, but this WINBOT W2S OMNI supports two different operating methods. First, you can use it while this Omni station is plugged in. Now, this is great when you're cleaning a lot of windows continuously or you just want unlimited runtime. The second option is something that I found myself using quite a bit, and that's the fully cordless operation. Once this Omni station is fully charged, you can move freely from one window to another without needing to worry about finding an outlet anywhere nearby. And honestly, this ended up being one of my favorite features because I could use it to clean outside, on my roof, or in all different locations where there was no power outlet. I could simply move from one room to another, attach the robot to the next window, and keep cleaning. No extension cords, no power outlets needed, no constant relocating of power cables. No hassle at all. Now in my experience, I was actually able to clean all of my windows on a single charge without needing to recharge this Omni station. Now of course, your miles may vary depending on the number and size of your windows, but battery life was excellent during my testing. And then of course, there is one feature that sounds small, but it genuinely improves the overall experience. And that is the automatic cable management system. When you've finished, all you have to do is press a single button on the Omni station itself, and it retracts the cable that's connected to the station and the robot. So it's very little hassle. The entire cable, no matter how much you've drawn out, automatically retracts back into the station. There's no manual winding of cables, no tangled cords, and no messy storage. You can see right here. It's all in one nice package. It's a small detail, but it makes the product feel incredibly polished and well thought out. And now that we've talked about some of the features, the product itself, and some use cases, let's talk about what really matters, and that is cleaning performance. Because if the windows don't look noticeably cleaner afterward, no other features matter. And honestly, I gotta say, on first use and ongoing, I was genuinely impressed. The biggest thing that I noticed wasn't necessarily removing heavy dirt. It was restoring clarity to my windows or my glass surfaces or anything that I put this thing on. On windows that had dust, pollen, fingerprints, water spots, a general haze, the difference was immediately noticeable. After cleaning, the natural light coming through my windows looked brighter, the glass looked clearer, and the overall appearance of the room improved just because the windows were clean. One feature that ECOVACS heavily promotes is the True Edge technology in this robot. This allows the robot to clean much closer to frames, edges, and corners. Now historically, edge cleaning has been one of the biggest weaknesses of robot window cleaners. This W2S Omni does a significantly better job than I actually expected. It gets surprisingly close to the edges without leaving large unclean borders behind it. And it does a number of different passes just to make sure that those areas are clean. Now, is it absolutely perfect in every corner? Of course not, because there are sections where it can't reach because of the plastic frame on the robot itself. But it's definitely among one of the best edge cleaning performances that I've seen from a window cleaning robot. Now, another important feature is, of course, the wide angle spray system. Instead of dragging a dry cloth across the glass, this robot sprays cleaning solution before wiping it. And you can actually see it, especially in some of the video footage that I've got. It does it on both the front and on the back end of the robot because it's got nozzles on both ends, which makes sure that it can clean no matter which direction it's going in. Now this helps loosen dirt and reduces streaking. And what you get, the result is a much more consistent clean. Now, with that in mind, let's keep things realistic. This isn't, of course, magic. If your window has years of built-up grime, heavy debris, or just stubborn mineral deposits, you may still need an initial deep cleaning. And under certain lighting conditions, especially direct sunlight, you might occasionally notice minor streaking. But then again, in my case, that was because I didn't clean the mop after cleaning just a bunch of different windows. But overall, the results, I gotta say, when my testing were consistently very good. And the results were good enough that I would absolutely continue using this robot in the future. Now, with that being said, of course, having a cleaning solution loaded into the robot itself does absolutely make a huge difference. If you're just spraying with tap water, that of course is gonna leave streaks because, when you clean with water, it's not always perfect. But if you use a cleaning solution like the one that's provided with the robot, you will get spotless cleans every single time. At least I did in my tests. Now, across the few weeks that I've had this robot, I put it to the test. In fact, I wanted to test this out on multiple surfaces. So aside from windows, I tested it on mirrors, my tall windows, of course, and a bunch of my doors, which have glass on them. And after using this WINBOT W2S OMNI for the last couple of weeks, I found that its biggest advantage isn't necessarily cleaning the easy windows. It's cleaning the windows and the mirrors that I normally avoid. The windows that are already easy to reach eventually get cleaned anyways, if you think about it. It's the tall windows, the tall mirrors, the awkward windows, and those surfaces that you can't reach, the hard to reach areas, the windows that would normally require a ladder or a step stool. Those are the ones that usually get ignored. Well, this is where this WINBOT has genuinely been very, very useful. I found it works especially well on large windows, tall mirrors and glass, sliding doors, glass surfaces that are difficult or inconvenient to reach. And in fact, I've probably used it on mirrors almost as much as I have used them on windows, or just as much. It's one of those things that becomes more useful the longer you own it. Because suddenly, those annoying glass surfaces that never seem worth cleaning becomes incredibly easy to maintain. And I find myself trying to stick this thing on every single surface to see how well it does on all those different surfaces. And this thing hasn't failed to impress. And honestly, that's what's changed my opinion on this product category. It's not just about cleaning windows, it's about removing the barriers that stop you from cleaning them in the first place. Now, overall, what surprised me most wasn't necessarily the cleaning performance of the robot, it was the convenience. Everything about the experience feels designed to remove any kind of friction. The cordless operation is fantastic, the portability is excellent, the Omni Station keeps everything organized, and moving from one window to another or even room to room is incredibly easy. Once this unit is fully charged, I could simply walk from room to room, attach the robot to the next piece of glass, and continue cleaning. Now, if you're someone who's ever cleaned multiple windows manually, you know how annoying it is and how moving supplies, ladders, extension cords, and cleaning equipment around the house can be. This WINBOT dramatically simplifies that entire process. Now, I also really appreciated the edge cleaning performance, the safety systems, which I haven't really used that much because generally I place this thing on the floor or the surface of a desk or a countertop. So I'm not really worried about the safety. I also love the simple app controls, the versatility across different glass or surfaces, and the automatic one-button cord retraction. Again, that last feature, it sounds minor, but until you use it, you're gonna definitely appreciate it. And in some cases, you're gonna also wonder why more products don't do that. Now again, as we wrap this up, things to keep in mind is that no product is perfect. So here are a few things potential buyers should know if they're considering this robot. First, this thing works best on larger glass surfaces. If your home consists mostly of very small windows with lots of dividers, you may not actually get the same value and it's just gonna bounce and, have a trouble time kind of navigating those windows. Second, you still need occasional maintenance. You'll need to wash the pads, you'll have to replace worn pads, of course you have to replace the cleaning solution. Now the third thing is that you definitely have to remember that this is a premium smart home product and it's new to market. The value proposition will depend heavily on your home itself. If you've got a lot of windows, you've got large glass doors, you've got hard to reach glass or mirrors, or you regularly pay for professional window cleaning, the value becomes much easier to justify. Okay, so after spending several weeks with this ECOVACS WINBOT W2S OMNI, I can honestly say this product surprised me and actually changed my mind about this product category. I initially thought that robotic window cleaners were a niche category that, probably wouldn't sell. Now I completely understand why they're becoming more popular. Because they solve a task that people just don't like. and it's actually convenient. And on top of that, the cleaning performance of this robot is actually very good. The safety systems inspire confidence if you lack that confidence. The cordless flexibility, I gotta say, is an excellent feature. The one button retraction is genuinely useful and something that you'll wish you had on other products. And the ability to move effortlessly from one window to another or room to room makes it far more practical than I actually expected. Now, with that in mind, the biggest compliment that I can give this WINBOT W2S OMNI is this. I actually continued using it way after the review period, and I pretty much use it anytime I see a dirty window or mirror. Not because it's flashy, but because it's futuristic and genuinely very useful. And it's also made a chore that I normally avoid significantly easier. And that's exactly what great smart home technology should do. It should save time, it should reduce effort, and it should make everyday life a little bit easier. Now, if you've been curious about robotic window cleaners, this WINBOT W2S OMNI is one of the strongest arguments that I've seen for finally trying one. If you'd like to learn more, check out my affiliate link in the description section below. And then also let me know in the comments, would you actually use a robot window cleaner in your home, something like this? Or are you still cleaning windows the old-fashioned way by scrubbing, that wax-on, wax-off method? If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.